Spawn, Dignitas up on the top right-hand side there. The purple team, Karthus, Udyr, Rumble, Soda, and Caitlyn over here. You got Caitlyn following right now. Meanwhile, on Team Solo Mid, you've got Graves, their AD carry, Special on Soraka, Jungle Maokai, Trundle, and Kassadin is their lineup here. The blue team, the bottom left team. Team Solo Mid's second seed into the tournament, holding true, by the way, to their own seed right now in the losers final, and looking good. The chance to make it to the grand finals as well. Dignitas still going to try to stop that and do what they can. See the Rainman right here actually tanking those Caitlyn traps, letting the Reginald have a little bit easier lane there. These traps normally would be a little bit difficult to deal with. You can see blue team setting some pings out here. Looks like Team Solo Mid wants to actually maybe take these golems over for themselves, but they're not really. They're actually a little bit afraid. You see they're hiding actually towards the bottom. They seem to have not found Dignitas in the beginning of the game, but Special sees it. It's like, actually, we're good. Interesting, though. Actually, it looks like Rumble and Karthus.
Yeah, split some experience there.
It's pretty smart. So Dignitas going to get a little bit of free XP from that. Though Rumble, a little bit damaged. We'll see how that plays out for him.
Well, it'll be nice. He is going to hit level 2 a little bit quicker in lane against Trundle. It may not help him as much because he is quite sustaining. But that level, if you really just think about it generically, you have 2 skills, they have 1. So to go into lane and be a level above the champion that you're going against if you have not gotten your first 3 skills is a really big factor and could help Rumble out a lot in that lane. And you did see him take the golems up top. They're going to go ahead and respawn before Jat even gets there. So very nice job there. Just distributing a little bit of resource in the beginning. Odd one starting at the Wolves down to Wraiths. The small camps first for Maokai, and he will continue through his jungle. So a little bit different path there for them. Chaos taking some damage from Locust down bottom off of those Qs, but really just playing the support in the bush role. And they're doing a very nice job. Again, TSM plays a very aggressive AD and support lane, so you can see them already pushing straight to the tower.
Yeah, and you're going to see, I think, top lane be one of the more interesting ones. Voyboy, the very aggressive champion is Rumble, going to try to keep the Rayman from last hitting a little bit if he can. You see Jat level 3 going to recall, and then looks like grab red. No, he just grabbed red, sorry, level 3, and will be coming back to the jungle before too long. You know, Reginald and Skara duking it out in mid. Now, one thing I want to point out is, we said earlier this lane is actually pretty good for Kassadin. His amount of harass is really, really strong. You look at Skara, and he actually invested in magic resist glyphs here, so he's a little bit more durable against Reginald's harass. He's got boots and 3 potions, hasn't even used any of the potions yet because he's been able to regenerate and block a lot of this damage here. So Skara, surviving the lane so far, doing a decent job, but he's getting pushed out, and it's making him lose less to the turret. He's got to be a little bit afraid of how this lane turns out. He needs to get gold. He's a very high-scaling champion and wants to be in great shape here. But Dignitas for the bottom lane, actually, very safe as well, long range and a lot of sustain.
Rumble going back quite early, grabbing that tome, possibly going for a little bit of spell vamp really early against Trundle since he does gain health off of creeps and things that die in lane. So that's going to be very helpful for him. Looks like Jat's going to be up top, so we may see Jat coming out of the jungle right after this. Looks like Voyboy is going to place himself down a ward to give himself a little bit of vision. He can be very aggressive in his laning at this point. You're going to see Maokai maybe go for that red. No, he's going to turn around. And he could be going for warrior placement and then a gank here.
Yep, Udyr's going to head over towards the middle. You want to try to get Kassadin pre-6 and look, oh, Maokai has the same idea. Could have a fight start up in mid lane really, really soon. Skara very much towards the back side here. Wants to stay on this turret because it's very dangerous. Another silence comes out from Reginald, and he's getting close. Look, and Reginald's staying to the left-hand side to force Karthus to the right. He's going to go back over there. Reginald going for last hits. Udyr's down nearby. Still harassing. They're going to go in there. Bear stance, wall of pain. Reginald might have to burn flash. If he can get a range in time. Lands the stun. Yes, he will. Damage up on his on. Reginald might fall down. He's going to die first stun. First blood. Drops down to the odd one. He's getting stunned though. Still hit by late waves. Oh my gosh. Jad is still chasing. Can he get it? Oh, the flash. He's going to make him flash out as well. Odd one will live. Jad will run away. And a giant minion wave for the odd one. He's going to hit level 5, maybe even 6 off of this. Just barely surviving that fight himself. A great bait there. Pulls him into the turret. Just uses the Twisted Advance to push him back, and then flashes out and he's safe and forces Jat to flash out as well. But a little bit of gold advantage for that Karthus. It's a great pickup there.
Yeah, really great fight there. They both came out and they both stuck with it until the entire end. Reginald trying to flash out of the situation, but that Defile of Skara just doing too much AoE damage. Took him right down. A very nice job there. That first kill, as we said, going to Skara. And it was an assist to Jat, so very nice help there, especially for the jungle to get a little bit more money under his belt, and that experience from those lane kills, he can continue to go through the jungle. However, we saw Odd One doing the same thing, and I believe it was actually him that got the kill, and Reginald getting the assist. So we'll have to see if that plays out for Skara in lane here. I don't think he has gone back. He does have the Catalyst, And it looks like he's going to sit with that and sustain in lane pretty well as we head up top. There's not too much between these guys. It's going to be one of those lanes where they just kind of farm out between doing damage when the jungler comes by. Jat showing presence again in middle.
Yep. Voyboy's still trying to push around the Rayman, but he's not able to do too much damage. Rayman at 64 magic resist without any other items, so it's purely runes and mastery is giving him a very large amount of mitigation, and that's helping him quite a lot in this lane. He needs to not get pushed around. If you get behind against a Rumble, it's going to be really sad days for you. So Rayman playing very well. Voyboy trying not to take too much turret damage as he keeps harassing. Bot lane able to sustain quite successfully as well. And uh-oh. Alright, looks like Odd1 is safe here. Almost level 6.
Going down to bot, Cutie Pie trying to push her lane out as Chaos still just forcing those minions back to the turret. We do see Jat making an appearance here. And it looks like he's just going to be there so they can back and go get some gold. You don't want to leave your lane open. You always want to be able to oppose the enemy trying to farm. You don't want to give that to them easily. And you can just see that Buckshot doing so much damage. A very nice job throwing out the smoke onto Cutie Pie to halt that back by him. So that will take him a little bit more time to get back to lane. And right now he's missing some experience.
Yep, Jat is covering it right now, but you do want your carries to get some EXP and gold as well. Jat's going to keep that lane off the turret. Very smart by him. You saw Graves trying to push that minion wave away, spamming his AoE spells, and of course, given free mana by Soraka, but it was not enough to push them away. Jat tanked that up, and that worked fine for him.
Looks like they have a little bit of a try here on Skara. Not going to be too much. Twisted advance just out of range. He was able to get that wall down and slow down Reginald, but Reginald on 6 is now able to rift. We'll have to see if Skara comes into play. Wow, Reginald looking for a dive there. Took too much off the turret. It's going to be an opposition here for blue. Yes, they go straight to Jat, and he absolutely melts. And they are going to be able to take blue for themselves. That goes straight to the Odd1. Very nice job.
Immediately there on for the Dragon as well. Chaos heading his way over. And looks like no one from Dignitas is going to try to stop that as well. Skarthus had to recall back. A great play by Scylla mid. The Odd1 invading and doing it right. Pushing around Jat and stopping that very successfully. And they will be taking over this Dragon right here. Great job by Scylla mid, taking their first major advantage of the game. Locust gonna get caught here. He's trying to get out of range. So much damage coming out from Chaos. He's not quite level 6, but Kassadin shows up, putting out the damage to slow it in as well. The exhaust is on. Can he get the kill? The wish comes out and does get it up. PewDiePie picks up that kill in return. But Kassadin got an assisted kill. It kind of traded 1 for 1 there. Reginald living up to his aggressive moniker.
Very nice job, and actually a very aggressive game here at 8 minutes and 43 seconds without even seeing a level 1 fight. We already have your first Dragon down. That to be up, I believe, at about 14:30, and we are going to see
it stealing blue
0-0. No, I think they would steal blue. They did get theirs stolen, so they are going to put pressure on this. And
really
we do see Rainman coming down, but he's going to find 3 people that he did not think were there. Let's see how this works out for him. The CV is down, and they do have vision on the entire area. Maokai coming from the other side. Can he get the twisted advance onto Skara? No, he knows it will put him out of position. He just plays it smart with the saplings.
Yep, well, the kill trade, though, they did get the +1 kill on Jat, so still mid, winning in kills, and that resulted in a Dragon as well. You can see the gold advantage, 12.7 to 11.7. Very good trade by TSM, but the number of buffs given away still equivalent, and Scar with free blue, although you got to be careful because Maokai is right here and ready to punish Scar for any overzealous aggression. And it's going to go in right there on Skara. He's not in great shape right now, trying to put the damage out on the Reginald, doing some good pain right here. He's going to drop down. Odd1 on a killing spree already. Skara not going to bother ulting. Excellent play by the Odd1. He's forcing all these kills for his team. They got 3-0 and 1. They've only got 4 kills. That's all the Odd1. He is the MVP right now for this game.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job, especially the fact that that first jungle attack was from both sides, and they really had to figure out who was the best to take down and what would be more of the advantage. And they went straight for Skara. They got him out of the fight, and Jat was able to fall at the blue. Everything's really just falling in TSM's favor right now, and the Odd1 is playing, as you said, that MVP role very big, and he's just playing very smart, helping and complementing every lane right now.
Yep, absolutely the case. And having a big, beefy tank is a pretty big deal there. Maokai going to be able to initiate and kind of force any fight he wants and have the rest of the team kind of filter in afterwards. The Rain Man probably going to stay durable this game. He's going to be able to farm. He's got a fast Philosopher's Stone. He's also hitting pretty well at 68, so he's going to be a threat this whole game. He won't fall off by any means unless he gets ganked repeatedly, but I just don't see that happening right now with how well the Odd1 is roaming. So Solo Mid will have a great tank line. It'll be a very big deal for them. Jat not nearly as farmed, though, so that might be a trouble point for Dignitas.
Well, you know, I didn't even think about it before, but as well with Soraka's ulti, if everybody is kind of hurt and they're just around an area, they can jump right into Maokai's ult, and that's 20% less damage, especially from Karthus. So that's actually going to be pretty helpful all around. They have two things to counter Karthus' ult. As we saw, Scar didn't ult before, we mentioned that. I think he knew that it wouldn't really have too much of an effect on Reginald, and possibly the comeback on that lane would have been better. A little bit of aggression down bottom here. We did see Jat, but he disappeared from that as they continue to fight and push back. Very nice heal by Special, giving KX that bit of armor. You can see he didn't take too much damage. Again, here we go on to Reginald, forced to rift away. Nice job by Jat. Just that lane presence for a jungler can even help that your champion in lane, your teammates, I should say. It'll help them to push a little bit more. Reginald's going to play a little bit more cautious now that he just saw Jat. He knows he's around that area. So even though he didn't get him to flash or get that gank to happen, still lane presence is a very big thing.
Yep, and one other good thing about Solomon's lineup is they have a big threat of physical and magic damage. You can't just build one source of mitigation and survive it. You've got the solo top, pure AD from the Raid Man, their bottom champion right here, Chaos, on Graves, huge amount of physical damage. But Reginald and the Odd One both dealing magic and doing a lot of damage as well, especially just because of how farmed this Maokai is getting. Of course, he'll be tanky, but fast Shurelya's already grabbed 12-minute Shurelya's. Very much aimed at the initiation, but as he levels up, the damage output there is going to be really significant.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing for them, especially with Reginald rifting on, and Odd One was happened to him twice before when he tried to get Scar, that he was just out of range for the twisted advance, and that Shurelya's is definitely going to help there. Very nice job by Reginald, the harassment onto Scar, keeping him away. Up top, it looks like Rain Man is being doubled up on the turret here. Jat has not focused Rain Man yet, but he is still just, not even taking damage, they're just ignoring him. Rain Man may have to get out of here soon, but he's going to focus on Jat, and he wants that for himself, and he is going to have to push him away.
He got pretty hurt.
Yeah, good amount of damage from that Q and Rumble. Flame Spitter is doing, he does have Will of the Ancients already, so his sustain in lane is, that's why they can just stand there and continue to beat down on Rain Man.
I really like that call from Dignitas. It's a little bit surprising, but it makes so much sense now. They're like, yeah, well, he has some damage, but he's pure gold per 10.
Yep.
His basic attack damage is not going to be that high, so let's just focus his turret, get it low. And if he stays around, by him counterattacking, he took all damage from minions. That's really where his damage output came from. That's why he's at half, was the minions kind of just counterattacked him and stayed on him. And it was actually really successful there. You got one Reginald staying up in mid. They're going to try to push the turret in response a little bit. Scar looking safe so far. Looks like he's going to go for Mercury Treads at a fast Rod of Ages.
Looks like the Doran's challenge down in bottom lane. Everybody just buying up Doran's. There's 3 on Graves, 2 on Caitlyn. She did, however, just go back, and Cutie Pie picked himself up that first BF sword at the AD lanes. We'll have to see if that helps him out there. Whoa! Kaox pushing through. It looks like he's going to walk towards Mao. Very kind of smart here, but he is getting himself in a bad position. No, Reginald coming up from behind, and what they thought was going to put them out of position. Dignitas finds 4 members of Team Solo mid.
Wow, that was phenomenal there. Locus unfortunately missed his entire ultimate there. That's going to be TSM getting a free turret out of it. Excellent call right there, pulling the mid and the jungler down, and now they can, of course, have free reign over the blue buff as well. Excellent coordination. TSM's ability to control the map and gank as a team has always been phenomenal. They're making amazing calls. Now, sure, you've got, actually the Rain Man. Boy not in a happy place right now. Flashing away, but flashing back is the Rain Man. Can the Boy get out? There's no more slows left for the Rain Man. He's low on mana. Ult comes out as well. He's trying to get out of this. The slows are just everywhere. Boy needs to be a little bit careful here. Skara comes by, and that's going to be a survival there. Both burning flash. Boy lives. He's got a turret out of it.
Yep, and they did allow this team to help get Dragon as well. Yeah. Just spawning 15 seconds ago. This Dragon is going to go down. We're going to look for a 21-minute spawn. There's going to be initiation. There it is. The Karthus initiation. They are going in right now. The stun onto the Odd One. A different bear stance than what I thought Jat would have went for, but they want to take him down. He is worth a lot of money, and that's what they're trying to get out of this. He does have those kills. The Caitlyn ulti almost takes him out. Jat's still on the back, and he will be able to get that Phoenix AoE down. Very nice job, Special, getting out of there with just a sliver of health, looking for the lay waste. Skara throws one over the wall, but he does miss, and Jat picks up a nice amount of gold for that kill.
Yeah, the Dragon did go to Solo Mid, though. It was a great smite battle there between Jat and the Odd One.
139 for him.
Yep, excellent play overall. Yeah, Jat getting rich individually, which is going to help him catch up a little bit against that 5-1 Maokai, who is definitely a durable tree right now. But again, the blue buff is up, and Dignitas might be stealing it again. We saw the last one get stolen. They're basically trading blue buffs right now. It's pretty phenomenal. Dignitas is going to come in here, and they've got positioning on the Golem. Reginald should know. You can see the pings. He's loath to initiate here. The wards go down. Great by the Rain Man, and they're in on it. Who's going to get it?
Oh, looks like Caitlyn got it, yep. Well, they're going to pressure this, though. Voyboy taking a lot of damage. He does have the Trundle ulti on him. There's Reginald over the wall. Still has that skill left, and he throws out a quick Q. They should chase down onto Cutie Pie here. I don't see anybody else around him, and they are going to just pressure this turret.
Reginald's going to be in a great... Oh, that's a good knockback there from Cutie Pie, trying to get out of range. Reginald is out of mana, and there's the flash, and yes, she will survive that. Nice escape there by Cutie Pie. No, she's going to get dire, did not recall. Oh, sorry, Jack got owned right there by the odd one, thanks to Chaos's help as well. Looks like Maokai continuing to take pretty much all the kills here, 6-1-1.
That is a lot of the lane dominance you do not want right now. They have free reign over taking down 2 of these turrets with the bottom one already down. And with the Graves there on that turret in mid with Maokai, that's going to be a down turret as well. All 3 turrets on the outer defense are taken down for Dignitas now. It's going to be an extra 450 gold to TSM. And just missing the twisted advance, he hits on a minion, and Skara is left to walk away.
Yeah, but it's overall 3-2 on turrets. It's a good job by Dignitas kind of firing back. They've been losing in map control the entire game, which is Solo Mid playing phenomenally as a team, making great calls, making good tactical decisions. And then you see Dignitas, even though they've been losing out on those decisions for the most part, they've managed to take these turrets back anyway. Sure, they're down 1 turret still. Sure, they're still down 2 dragons. But they've traded blue buffs back and forth. They're down 5 kills, which is pretty significant actually, but they're not that far behind. 3,800 gold is not terrible. They can certainly come back from that.
Right.
But TSM really putting on a great show as far as teamwork and coordination.
So the wards now coming out here as we start to crest into your mid-game area. The lanes have been pushed. A lot of the turrets are down. That forces Dignitas to stop that early laning game. Now they have to start gathering together. You see here, they're going to complement that. Power in numbers, taking out mid, getting themselves some global gold. We should see Dragon back up in about 5 minutes here. Oh, about 3.5 minutes, actually. Okay. And we're going to see that focus down towards Dragon at that time. We do see the bottom jungle being cleared out by TSM. And Rumble still up top farming. Has that Will of the Ancients into his into boots, so he did sell that previous item. Actually, I think he just had a ward, so he didn't sell anything.
Yeah.
Still, something to build now. We're going to have to see what that is. Probably a Rylas, get a little bit of tank under him. He already is pretty defensive with that Scrapyard shield.
Yep, and you can see TSM definitely getting ready to push into this game. Dignitas still staying around here. They do want to try to push this one. Graves and Trundle have been both sent to farm. Now Voyboy is out there. They've got 4 in mid against 3. They could try to push in. They've got a minion wave. The AoE from Solo Mid is not bad at all. They've got Maokai and Maokai and Cass able to push this around. Otto's going to jump in there, pop his ult there. And Dignitas a little bit afraid, although actually Oddboy getting hit pretty hard here. Getting poked on quite nicely. Cutie Pie going for Infinity Edge. Good damage here on Ascara. Sona's going to try to save that. And there is Trundle in the fight as well. The ults come out everywhere. Looks like Chaos picking up 1 on Ascara. Damage out onto the Odd one is there. They're flashing out though. Looks like Voyboy chasing, and that's going to be 1 kill there. Logos gets it though. Especially not getting shoved away. Chaos as well. Looks like 2 for 1 traded so far. Stun on the Chaos. Caitlin's on that one still. The armor buff is gigantic, but Chaos still getting chased down. The trap on the right could be enough. He's getting away just barely. Looks like he will not fall. 3 killed for 1. Dignitas with an exceptional push right there. The ults stacked up quite nicely. Many champions did fall.
Wow.
That was an excellent push by Dignitas. They managed to make that one happen. And exactly as I predicted, the ult spam right there was enough. They kept him there in that AoE wall, and it was enough to push them down. Solo Mid still has the coordination. They could, of course, come back from this, but Dignitas really showing their team comp is very superior in a team fight.
That was a very nice job. I was surprised they did not. Odd One did not pop the Shirelias in that instance. They kind of just caught up to the fight and made it happen. But Trundle was there. It really looked good for them, and then there's just too much AoE coming from Dignitas, and they were able to come around with Rumble. That Flame Spitter doing so much damage. They still had their flashes left. As you said, everybody was being made to flash out of the fight, but Dignitas just felt confident enough to follow, coming out very big on that one, and really bringing the gold down to about 1,000 in difference now. 4-3 on turrets. Dignitas still leads there, as they just went down middle pretty aggressively and were able to take out that second defensive turret for TSM.
Absolutely. Yeah, TSM still definitely in the advantage, and they've earned it so much. I can't stress enough how well they've been running this map.
Right.
And I partially can't believe that Dig won that fight, but I think it was just because they opened up a 4v3. They opened up a little early, and they had to kind of pull in the reinforcements. KX and the Rayman had to run in, so they weren't there necessarily right away. They weren't quite ready for the fight. And so Dignitas basically just initiated. They jumped in there. They had some good damage on Maokai a little while ago. They had just the ult went off and it hit really hard. And the only kill was Scar. And that's probably the right choice by TSM to try to kill Scar there to get rid of the Karthus. But of course, it doesn't really matter too much if Karthus dies first. He still does damage while dead. He can pop that ult, can do a lot of damage there. It's very valuable.
It looks like Sona did just go over towards Dragon as it has spawned. There's that 21-minute mark. She may see it as they get in, but she did not see the ward that is inside the Dragon's Den. We'll have to see if they are able to see that once they get in. Sona should be staying pretty far on the outside. I don't think the range will reach. And no, they will not see it. So the vision is completely there. They did get it, and it's not going to be opposed. It looks like that TSM was not ready for that 21-minute marker. They were just really focusing on the Baron.
Yeah, you saw some of them run towards Baron, but the call was no, we can't do it, and let's back off. You saw Reginald go, you saw the odd one go. It was an attempt. Wall goes off on the odd one.
Very nice wall.
And they're up to the turret again. They're really trying to push turrets here, getting TSM out of position. And if they can fight here, that's amazing for the Dignitas. They're in a line. It'll be perfect if they can get it. But Voidboy getting caught out here a little bit. This could be scary for the Dignitas. Great ult, they're up by Rumble. The dance is there, the damage output everywhere. And they're going to chase through onto the Rayman right now. He's getting hurt, but he's getting out. It's a great play by him to make it. Reginald's getting low. KX an amazing positioning here across the wall. Putting out some good damage, but Dig pushing everyone back. Odd one recalling away. And QtPie putting some damage on the turret, but he should be afraid. KX with some great damage output there. Pushing QtPie out.
This is such a back and forth game. Oh, so much damage is being traded. The healers are doing an amazing job at keeping everybody just above that half health mark. It really makes you think that I can chase this for another second, and then you just see 500 health. Not really. It's about 320, and I think Sona's putting out some 200s at least now. But that really changes your mind and totally switches up what you should be doing. We saw the Shirelias used right at the last second there as we saw Rainman trying to book it out of that fight with the help of Reginald, just slowing everybody down right quick. So these fights are very back and forth. It's going to be all about who can get picked off first and who has the better vision in the fight, because both of these teams could probably just ace each other off that last ignite-to-ignite kill in a head-to-head.
And they're actually on the Baron right now, as Dignitas had to recall. They do know about it, but the ults aren't all up, and this is exactly what TSM wants, is a non-ultimate fight. Their ults aren't mandatory to team fight, and they're up onto Voidboy. He can get jumped on, and he will do so. Jad flashes away. There's a nice damage from KX. Picks up one, picks up two. Excellent by TSM, 2 unanswered kills. And now they're up onto Skara, and Skara not in a happy place right now. Looking to fall down to KX and Reginald. That will be the case.
All right, so there's something you have to remember, especially when you make it out of fight at half health. You probably shouldn't commit to the next one as well. That's not how it works very well. Dignitas losing 3, and those were some of the people that actually had that half health. I mean, they had to kind of get over to Baron. They wanted to just get those few pokes in. We've seen it very many times that, you may lose one, but it causes the other team to have to completely stop. And that is a success. That is not what just happened. Dignitas got a little overzealous, put too much focus on stopping that Baron. We're able to lose 3, which is quite a bit of gold for TSM, then to pick up that extra 300 from Baron. So they're going to be able to push this really hard.
Yep, and it's TSM being playmakers. They are going to get the Baron. Nice job there. That's exactly the kind of fight the Team Solomid wanted, was, hey, in a team fight, it's really hard because, guys, they have a lot of AoE ultimates. It's going to be painful. But the ults were down this time. Sona just got hers back. It looks like Rumble got his just now as well. It's like, well, their ults are down. And by the way, we're really good on these sort of split 3v3s. Maokai and Kassadin both extremely mobile. Also, Chaos on Graves, all 3 of them can blink around. Yeah, the Rayman and especially they have to kind of rely on their feet to get themselves around, but the other 3 linking over walls and catching people unaware, and it was extremely impactful when that happened.
So now we see everybody just milling about in their jungles. CVs are going down. We do see that they're trying to pressure that Wraith camp there and throw down a ward. So far the ward's actually kind of being not wasted on Baron, but that's where they're being used right now, so we're going to see where they will be put for being an advantage towards a gank sometime soon. It is 25 minutes into the game, and we do see that ping on blue. Purple wants to make sure that they go and get that. Dignitas headed over towards their own blue, and we can see that the pings are going out. It looks like the blue should be spawning soon for TSM as well. They're going to get these, distribute them out. Going to give this one to Skara. The next one, I believe, will go to Reginald if he does not have one right now. He does not, but that Baron is also going to help too, giving them a lot of regen in this next fight. They're going to push up with this wave, possibly. It seems like they're being very cautious. I mean, Rainman is down bottom trying to clear that wave, but I believe they still have quite a force here in mid with those 4.
Yeah, and I just want to keep pointing out the differences in their play styles here. Dignitas really focused on being a team fight team. You look at what Jat has, and he's got, an Aegis of the Legion to help my entire team, give them an ore. It's not high impact in a single second, it's there for the whole fight. But you look over at what the Odd One's doing. The Odd One not getting an Aegis, but instead has that fast Shirelli. It's about initiating a fight, catching someone unaware, and jumping into a 3v2 or a 4v2, and winning that battle right away, and then saying, well, we killed 2 people, it's a 4v2, you can't win the rest of that fight, just go away, we get map control, we get that for free. And you can see that in the playstyles of their AP carries as well. Reginald, you can see only 100 minions, constantly with his team looking for champions to kill, not for minions, only 100. When you look at Skara, that Karthus, 186 on minions, much more team fight carry, need gold, want to be farmed, our whole team together going to be really impactful. And that's been very sort of prevalent in these fights, that TSM are winning each of these skirmishes, and that's why they have twice as many kills, if they're running around and catching people. And then when you get those big team fights, each of those big team fights have went to Dignitas.
Let's see what our ADs are carrying now. An Infinity Edge onto Cutie Pie. He is going to start building a little bit of mitigation for himself. He does have that Negatron cloak. He does not want to be taken down by Maokai and Karthus, or Maokai and Kassadin, I should say, right away. We're going to have pressure onto this turret. We'll look over to Graves, and Graves has that Bloodthirster fully stacked with a Last Whisper, really relying on that E quick draw to give himself some speed. Very nice job by Voyboy taking that hit on Scrap Shield. Looks like there's initiation with the pillar, but that's just going to push him off. You see, that's for KX to get in there, poke the turret a few times. They're really not trying to waste too many cooldowns. A big waste of a cooldown is going to mean initiation for one of these teams. That's going to make them feel comfortable about the damage they're about to take. There's the saplings going out. This is the poke we were talking about. Very nice job. Dignitas should be winning on this one. Should see some Cutie Pie Qs coming out there. The Piltover Peacemaker, those lay wastes, as well as the harpoons from Voyboy. They really should be able to outpoke these guys. They're going to go ahead and go for a Dragon. They should be able to take this down fast. We'll see this at about the 34-minute mark again. Rain Man to go back down again. We have a few backing, and it looks like Dignitas to reset as well. We'll see what items they get in their hands. It looks like we do have Cutie Pie grabbing up a Zeal, so he's getting his attack speed as well. Rumble with that Rabadons now. He did not go for the...
no Rileys or anything like that. Yep. It's going to help out Karthus quite a lot. Karthus does not have his Spell Vamp Tome yet, though. Rumble does, but you kind of figure Scar might want to get that pretty soon to help out Rumble, help out himself quite a bit. Because Scar with Rod of Ages and Merc Treads, he can honestly get into that fight and then sustain a little bit. Like, he might get bursted kind of hard, but Reginald's not super farmed. Odd One's building pretty much pure tank, so it's only Graves that could kill him. 76 armor is pretty good, but I mean, he could potentially survive the burst and sustain back with Spell Vamp and be a really big nightmare.
Oh, KX taking a quick hit. Very nice wall there. Almost gets him to catch in. Dignitas doing a very nice job of rotating between their lanes, keeping them at least pushed. We can see everything's just about to mid right now, which gives them a chance to go through their jungle a little bit and clear the resources there, get a little bit more gold in their favor. It's not going to be much, and they take quite long to spawn, it seems like, when somebody is pushing down every turret you have, but it's a very good job as well from TSM to continue this push and not let that experience go to Dignitas. A very nice job. Voyboy taking quite a bit of damage, way below half health there, as they got quite a few attacks on. Reginald looking to go behind. No, they are trying to initiate on something here.
They could insta-give Voyboy.
Yeah, Voyboy needs to be very careful. This is a point where he needs to back. They do have Locust ulti if they have to stop this turret dive, and they have a minion wave right there. It would have been a very good time to back, get out here and help his team. However, just relying on Locust, not too much mana on those heals, and he's able to throw out a lot. And you can see he's just about regular health, or full health, also using that Q to Spell Vamp back up. So he's waiting for that minion wave and keeping that complement defense to his team.
Yep. Thankfully for Dignitas, Sona's mana bar is not too small. Thankfully to Shirelli, she's able to sustain her team. Look at that. Voyboy almost back to full health, using that Spell Vamp as well, using those Electro Harpoons to Spell Vamp. Look at that top lane. Tons of minions, and there's the teleport in from the Rain Man. That's going to be a big point of impact for TSM. You see Kassadin already on his way over. This is going to be a free turret. Excellent play by TSM, and that's why teleport is such an amazing spell. You see the amount of power gain there. Free turret by TSM, and they've roamed back towards mid. Now Jad will take mid over, but he's going to get caught right here. You can see there is Maokai, there's everyone else. He's going to pull back, his team is there. Jad will survive, but that could have been really scary.
Yeah, that was close. Trundle doing a very nice job top. Also has a very nice minion wave coming up behind that, so they can choose to go now between top and mid. It's going to be a fight right by Wraith, and it looks like Cutie Pie, they absolutely smother him and do not allow him to get away, even with Caliber. The crescendo goes out, but it does not look like TSM is taking that much damage. They do find KX to go down. Very nice job there. Jat still in the fight, down to a sliver of health, and he stays alive as Sona throws out a W. Can they continue to stay alive? And there was just too much running about. It was like TSM the entire time was surrounding Dignitas. They did not have a chance. There's Sakarthus ulti. Jat finds himself going down as well, and TSM scores the first ace of the game at 30-40.
Yeah, excellent job, and they're just going to push top right away. Perfect play from them. They caught Caitlyn. You saw Cassidy. Cassidy was waiting here for a long time. Two champions from Dignitas went up here to try to take over into the jungle, and then they jumped immediately down. Maokai ran in there, Cassidy ran in there, and they insta-get PewDiePie, and that's not something you want to have happen. It's so hard for TSM to assassinate this Caitlyn because now she's got that magic resist cloak, the Negatron, and again, Reginald's playstyle is not to spam a lot of minions. His AP is not that high. He's only 106 minions. Sure, he's 5-2. He's got Arcandle's Rod of Ages, but there's no death cap. He's got no void staff, so MR is very significant there. And, you know, it's only when you get caught are you really going to die to just a Cassidy. But she got caught, and that is how TSM won that fight. And again, they are able to catch people out of positions. It's the spam on Shirley's Reverie. It's all the blinks. They're catching people, and that's how they're winning these fights.
Yeah, they use all their cooldowns in the right places. We do see that Baron is back up here. Voyboy will start to challenge that already. He does have the shield on, so he's not going to take that initial damage from Baron. Trying to lower that resistance as they throw the wall down. He is taking quite a bit, though. Sona's saying on the outside, has to be very careful if Maokai is to come in here and Twisted advance on her. Maokai comes in. They go for Jet, actually, to shut down the CC. PewDiePie still taking damage. Oddone does not give up on PewDiePie, and he will take him down. It is going to be a huge fight. Baron does go out, and it is in the favor of Dignitas. Can they use this buff to take the fight in their favor? Oddone falls. The tank is down. Trundle down to a low amount of health as Special makes it out by the skin of his teeth, and Dignitas turns that one around in their favor. Like I said, both of these fights go head-to-head, and it's going to be all about who has the better vision, and that was all in Dignitas' favor, especially after taking down the Baron.
Yeah, and an excellent move by the Rayman. He's pushing top immediately. He says, look, you might want to push us. Voyboy will show up just in time, but it's at half health. Yeah, do it, Rayman. Like, it's a 4v2. They're going to push our base. Let's do something about this. Do something about this. Push them back. They know the Rayman can survive. There's no hard CC on Dignitas' team. That's a non-ultimate. They've got Jat with Bear Stun, situational Caitlyn Trap, and then Sona ult. Those are the hard CCs in that team. There's 3 of them in there on long cooldowns or melee only, or if you walk over them when they're there on the map. So this is TSM knowing they can run away from this. Oddone. Ooh, that's a red buff. Voyboy shows up. Rayman stops him. They've pinged it, though. They know he's there. Cassidy's showing
sitting
up.
on a ward right now.
The thing is, Cassidy and Graves are almost there. Voyboy could get caught and die here. He's still not that durable.
Nice CV. The Scare-Voyance going out.
Scare-Voyance.
Trying to get Voyboy to run away here. They do find him, but this gives both teams enough time to go for another 5v5. They are trying to get into the jungle here. Nobody likes the vision that they have. They're all going to back off from that situation.
Yep.
Very nice job.
And right now, KX's Bloodthirster only at 12 stacks. It's one of the advantages of going Infinity Edge versus Bloodthirster. If you start winning, the Bloodthirster team is going to be behind because maybe there's a chance they can't get a large minion wave. Maybe they're going to get pressured on really soon. So right now, KX doing much less damage than PewDiePie. That very safe Caitlyn actually worked that last team fight. She managed to get, she was getting chased by the Oddone, but stayed alive for quite some time. Dragon goes to TSM.
That'd be nice. We'll see that again. 40-06.
I think TSM's gotten every single dragon this game.
Dignitas was able to grab one in there after one of their fights, but yep, that's when TSM kind of was deciding not to go Baron or not.
Oh yeah, you're right. For it. Yeah, otherwise it's like 4-1 on
yeah,
dragons.
It's still way in TSM's favor.
Most of the advantage right there. TSM also winning 8 kills, equal on turrets this time, equal on Barons finally. Still a neck and neck game. TSM has the advantage, but they've had it all game, and it hasn't really determined too much. The team fights are still going back and forth.
Yep. Yeah, really, the pushes were huge. As soon as Dignitas got that fight to go down in their favor, we saw them push 2 turrets down mid. They already had the outer ones. And all the fights that are coming from TSM, they seem that TSM is having to back and not get as much pressure as they want after they're able to win the fights. And we're seeing that's where Dignitas is coming up with those turret takedowns. However, with the amount of gold now, about 5K in favor of TSM, they're not going to be able to start doing that. TSM is going to be tanky enough after these fights to continue their aggressive pushes, and it's going to start being detrimental as these turrets start falling. Another ace by TSM could mean pretty bad things for Dignitas, and it's going to be in a lot of time for them to work back from that.
Absolutely the case. I'm hoping to see some more auras come out for Dignitas because their advantage really is in the team fights. And as they have only Caitlyn for physical damage output, they need to empower everyone as much as possible because if they can stack too much MR on TSM, team is going to be difficult, so they want to build as much advantages there as they can. see what they can do. They have the Baron buff for a few, about 30 seconds more. They're up onto the turret. Caitlyn doing some really good damage here. Graves off on the wings, not going to be enough. They've got that so far. Onto the inhibitor.
Wow, an unopposed turret.
Yep. And the inhib, but they're about to jump in here. And the positioning is amazing for TSM. There's going to be no ult cluster here. Good harass on a Locust, down to half health. They're trying to walk out, but TSM could come in here. Reginald could get the slow, and they're going to jump in. There's the flash. Maokai in the middle. There's the ult on the KX. KX is low. Especially gets caught by a trap. They will not go for that. Rayman gets a kill on a cutie pie. Reginald's still around. They've traded back, though. Maokai has fallen. Boy, Locust, and Skara all very low.
Oh, wow.
Reginald playing perfectly here. About to come back in there. Skara could fall. He's going for it. Doesn't land the slow. Now Locust and Boy the ones in the fray. Locust trying to spam those heals. Getting his health back. Rainman's in there. A great pillar. Locust will fall. He will dance onto Reginald. He's going to die. They're going to try to run away. 1 dead versus 2 dead. Jat, Voyboy, and Skara. Skara should not recall.
Gotta point out what Reginald did in that fight. He absolutely went for Cutie Pie along with Rainman and then stayed back and forth between wolves. Did you see how many times Jat turned around? He's like, I want Reginald. All right, I have to fight in the fight. Okay, I want Reginald. I want to fight in the fight. There were at least 3 people from Dignitas for 5 seconds going back and forth and not using a spell or a cooldown, or one of their cooldowns rather. So
that was excellent.
Amazing play by Reginald in and out to just play with the minds of Dignitas during that fight.
And Dignitas coming in strong, trying to force them back. Jet down to half health, could drop down to Reginald. Looks like that'll be the case. Excellent play by TSM. Skara in bad shape as well. They might make it out though. Voyboy in the front, ult goes down on the Rayman. Down to half health though. Can they pick up? Yes, they will. Voyboy try to get out. He will just barely. And Cutie Pie's. Oh, he's got the red buff on a Chaos. The Wall of Pain misses. The armor's there. There's the Shurelias from Soraka. And they have to be afraid of that Kassadin. Kassadin.
Very nice job. And there it is again. You know, TSM was able to come out with a pretty good fight, but not able to take that turret. A very nice job by Dignitas to hold their ground on that defense.
Absolutely. And the blue is up. Cass will want that very much. Clairvoyance from both sides. They both know they want it. They both know that they know. Special putting some wards down. Wearing a blue elixir, by the way. I want to point that out, that Special has been wearing elixirs, not just for carries, but also for supports. Those lower cooldowns on the heals, the higher AP ratios for those heals as well, very significant there. You can see that actually he was down to half health in that last fight and already got himself back up just from, oh, by the way, Spell Vamp book. Yeah, it's going to be happening. And that's really smart by Special, I think, to get those auras, help his team out. Reginald does want that AP, and the Spell Vamp doesn't suck either.
Yeah, the less you have to heal yourself, the more you can heal your teammates, and especially with Soraka being on such a long cooldown for that heal, it's going to be throwing out every 12 seconds in a fight. 12 seconds can happen. A lot of things can a lot of things can happen in 12 seconds if you know how to speak English.
That's true. and yeah, that's from Shurelias, the Inhibits Lucidity, and then the blue elixir that is full 40% CDR, and that is exceptionally smart. Spellvamp book is out. You can see 115 AP. Those heals are actually pretty good. Plus 80 on Wish. We'll ignore Star Call because she will too. But plus 50 on the Astral Blessing as well. I mean, that's really not bad at all. 400 point heals instant on a single target. Another 400 for the Wish. 800 burst heal, really, really good.
I think this is really one of the first games we haven't seen too many Wriggles. Not even Jat with the Wriggles for himself. And that is going to take
0 Wriggles game.
Yeah, quite a long time to be Baron for both of these teams. Yeah, both junglers did not get a Wriggles. Not that Maokai usually would build one, but usually you would see if somebody builds a fast Bloodthirster in the AD lane, they may be contradicted by the Wriggles here. We do have initiation onto Baron. Cutie Pie takes so much damage from Reginald in the beginning. Voyboy forced to go away because he has Trundle's ultimate on him. Will he be able to turn around and help his team? The ultimate is down from the Equalizer. On Rumble, they are focusing onto Chaos. Graves will fall there. It's going to be the first of the fight. We will see that Caitlyn did fall just a bit before that. Karthus ulti going out. Everybody down to a sliver of health on TSM. They're trying to get the heals out. Odd One throwing down his ultimate. Almost takes down Voyboy, but he puts up Scrap Shield. Will they be able to take down one more? The Odd One is just fighting right now in between 3 Dignitas members, keeping them from getting to his team. Special gets taken down by Locust. Support on support action. Jat looks like he could go down here. The heals from Sona being so great, also using her W to negate that damage coming in. Just not enough though. Can the Rain Man clean this up? Will he be able to get the last kill? That Oracle's also costing 400 gold, and it looks like he will be able to shut down Locust here in the end of this fight. An ace for Team Solo Mid.
And the Rain Man coming through on that one. 8 and 2 on the game so far. He's got that Trundle Force, and yes, that is why he's winning, of course, doing tons of damage on that Trundle. and just stayed in that fight. And you got to realize even his passive came into play there. Every time, let's see, where is the passive? I'm having it, there we go. Yeah, every time someone dies, he's going to get 6% of their max health. Well, when you're in an entire team fight and then everyone in the enemy team dies, there's a lot of health bar right there, and that's going to help him out a lot. He managed to heal up throughout that fight. Started out on a 2-for-2 trade as both AD carries and both mages fell. Then they traded supports and jugglers, and then it was just, by the way, guys, I'm Trundle, I'm going to kill your team, and it worked out beautifully there. Okay, X going to try to restack that Bloodthirster up to 8 right now, now up to 10. He's being allowed to farm, which is a very, very good play here. And Dignitas, yeah, they did not get Baron that last fight. They started on it, did not quite work for him.
PewDiePie really needs to get that Bloodthirster under his belt, some type of sustain for him, going down way too quickly in fights. And with something like Baron, you have to be in there. You're the damage dealer for your team, so you are going to be in that fight. There's really no way to get your position out of it unless you just caliber over the wall. Wasn't able to do that. Reginald's doing a very good job of focusing PewDiePie, and the Rain Man is always trying to focus Jad out, focus Locust out. We have Odd One also focusing Jat. It's not something you would think to happen. Don't focus the tank, but what they're doing is he's twisted advancing on Jat, so Jat can't bear stance anybody. The initial damage and that front load damage is being done by TSM. We'll see that Jat and Odd One going at it. Looks like they're going to back off. The Trundle ulti was used, so they're not going to be able to use that into their advantage of this next fight here, Freak.
Yeah, they're going to push on through. Reginald poking exceptionally well. TSM, I'm surprised. You know, we said earlier, Dignitas had really good poke here, but actually Reginald's doing a phenomenal job here, tossing out those spells and then getting out. And honestly, the Odd One doing a good job here as well. They've caught on a Scar. That is not who you want to die if you're Dignitas. Looks like that will fall rather soon. He flashed over the wall. Is Reginald. Still no one quite dead in this fight. Often staying on a Locust. There's the death on a Scar, and it's still more damage coming out everywhere. Falls on all sides. 1 for 3 so far. Boy, not in good shape. Everyone on TSM quite durable, actually. Sona goes down. Rumble goes down, and that is an ace. Solo mid taking that fight in style. And they're going to keep pushing on through. They only lost it special. And you know, if the only one who dies is support, you still won that fight quite well.
That was the fight that they needed. That's where that gold gain this entire time has really been helping them. And Reginald, again, playing such a good fight that time, kept PewDiePie out of it. He would rift in, out, came out of the bush, went back into the bush. PewDiePie had no reason to keep going after him. He needed to help his team, but was being taken down the entire time. The whole team for Solo Mid playing an amazing mind game with Dignitas this time, and they're able to take down game 1 here.
Yep, the second turret goes down. Solo Mid now on to the Nexus. Game 1 of 3.